We got breaking news. So the Browns have opened Deshaun Watson's 21-day window of return from the IR. He's been out since October 2024, tearing his Achilles, if you remember, Week 7 against the Bengals. Watson then suffered a setback in the recovery in January and then re-ruptured the Achilles tendon. But the Browns will have until Week 17 to activate him from that IR, or he'll miss the remainder of the season. So many questions in short time here. I want to welcome in our NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. And JJ, the first question when it comes to Deshaun Watson, is there a chance that he actually plays this year? This is out of nowhere.
There's a chance. I think it's pretty small. I would be fairly surprised if Deshaun Watson ultimately steps on the field to play a game for the Cleveland Browns in the 2025 season. And hearing from Kevin Stefanski earlier today, the focus is just putting him back in a helmet, getting out there on the practice field, throwing with his teammates, getting some very limited individual reps, probably some scout team stuff. This is not something where, hey, they're opening up the window and he might come back in a week or two and we could see him start for the Cleveland Browns next week. It's not that, okay? This is, let's get him back out there on the practice field. Let's see how he's doing. But it's my understanding that even if he's looking good out there on the practice field, again, the odds are low that he will be playing for the Browns this season.
So then that question goes to like the long-term plans as we see the numbers and the cap hit when it comes to him. Of course, he'll be age 30 this year actually, and then 31 with 80.7. But the long-term plans with Watson, you're still talking about Shedeur Sanders. We've talked about the rotation with Dillon Gabriel here. If you're the Browns and you still have those first-round picks here, you know, what is the direction here? I know it's something that just happened, but what is the direction that the Browns might go?
So, first of all, the guys who are there, right? Dillon Gabriel, who has now started, 6 games. Shedeur Sanders, who is going to start this upcoming week and very well may start the remainder of the season. Their futures are sort of up to them, okay? What they do on the practice field, what Shedeur Sanders does out there in games. This move right now, Deshaun Watson's return to practice, does not impact Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. There has been some doubt for some time that Deshaun Watson would ever play again for the Cleveland Browns, and he is only under contract through next year. There's no way that a team is going to be trading for him, so if the Browns wanted to relieve themselves of Deshaun Watson, they would have to cut him. He would be a post-June 1 cut. There'd be a ton of dead money that would hit the cap, and then that would be the end of that. But as far as what it means for the guys who are there, does not impact them because their play is what's going to determine their standing with the team this upcoming year. And yes, you mentioned it. The Browns do have 2 first-round picks in this upcoming draft. And so we have known for some time now that Deshaun Watson is not going to be the future of the Cleveland Browns. It is probably the worst transaction in NFL history when you look at what was given up for him, when you look at the fully guaranteed contract, when you look at the return, when you look at everything that was surrounding Deshaun Watson that he had involved himself in over those years. And so now it's about, for the Browns, they're just getting him out there on the practice field again. And if they're not going to play him, I'm not entirely sure what the point of this exercise necessarily is. Again, odds are low he plays, and it's up to Shedeur Sanders what Shedeur Sanders is going to be doing this year and beyond.
If we're looking into the future, and obviously I know your name is not Miss Cleo, JJ, but is there a place outside of Cleveland for Deshaun Watson? Because we remember what he looked like on the field when he's healthy. We saw what happened before that Achilles injury. But is there a place in 2026 for him once he leaves, assuming he leaves from Cleveland?
It'd be hard for a team to go out there in time. There'd have to be a lot of due diligence that's done. You'd want your doctors to check on him because he tore his Achilles twice, right? That was a rare occurrence. And so this is not something where, hey, at the start, whenever the Browns, if they are to release him again, they're not going to be trading him. But if they are to release him, this is not something where he signs with another team the next day. and he would probably have to go in for a visit. This would be something that team ownership would have to sign off on, right? This is, you probably wouldn't have to pay him that much. The money wouldn't be an issue necessarily, I wouldn't imagine. As far as naming a team, that's impossible to do right now. But the mechanics of it, what it could look like, if he is to play in his age 31 season in 2026, that's what you would see take place over time. Maybe where a team would sign him in the summer after some injuries, perhaps. But I don't see him, if and when the Browns do release him, that some team is going to jump to sign Deshaun Watson at the start of the new league year.
We will see there. Jonathan Jones, appreciate you joining us on the breaking news of the Browns opening the 21-day practice window for Watson there. And speaking of Watson and all those injuries, it's a number of them there when you take a look at what he's seen over his career since coming from Clemson, winning that Natty, one of those prospects that could have been the franchise piece. We saw it in Houston, then coming to the Browns. Take a look at it. Since 2017, the ACL tear, the back in 2019, the rotator cuff, the scapula fracture shoulder, and then those torn Achilles in 24, and then the re-injury in 2025. JJ just said it there. He will be 31 in 26, so we'll see what happens with Deshaun Watson.